Yeah, because it's a test. I want to see how bad they hate us.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, we're now live. How are you doing? I almost just swore right off the bat. Mark and I are going to attempt at great physical pain to ourselves.
Oh my goodness. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual.
To not swear.
Oh yeah. YouTube keeps demonetizing every time we go up together. And it's like, I think it's automatic. And every time we appeal, they're like, nah. And last time we said nothing that was like against their TOS or anything, but they're just like, not you guys alone. You're okay. But together we can't have that. Like we cannot have that.
The weird thing is, I think the last time we were on together, mine's monetized on my channel. Like my version
that
is
is
monetized.
So weird. I appealed it and everything.
But also, I mean, and me and Mark have talked about this. We very much want our products to get like as far into the reach of people as possible. Like,
yes.
So I do understand that, like, even though I'm known for dropping the F-bomb every other word, that there are times that I need to not. And we really, like, when it comes to helping people, Mark and I are dead ass serious all the time. And the A thing I'll try to avoid again, but like,
I think it's a donkey.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay. And by the way, just before we get started, tickets will be handled today. We're going to be at the Tiger Fitness Gym in Loveland, Ohio, March 2nd, which is a Thursday, 12 to 5, open gym. And it's a powerlifting gym. So you can test out No Morbidity and how well it cures cravings, because we will have free pizza and donuts.
Yeah.
We're setting y'all up to fail.
Yeah. No, I mean, because I always talk about it, as much as possible. Make that a special event. Like, come there knowing, like, eat a high protein breakfast. Come there, get a workout in, indulge, and relax, enjoy. I'm going to be doing full Q&A about anything weight loss related, anything like that anybody wants to talk about. You're going to watch a bunch of people lift extremely heavy weights that are way, way, way stronger than me and that I ever was, including Mark's daughter. I think it's going to be a fabulous time. And I really think that, like, we need to start, like, I really think that, like, events that Mark puts on, if you haven't gone to one, try to make a point to get to one. First of all, it's a free gym. It's a free workout. It's a lot of fun. And it gives you a new perspective on society. Like, it really does. Like, I really think society is a lot nicer to each other than people want to portray. And I think that your events do a great job of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good time, man. I look forward to seeing everybody there. And it's our way of kind of giving back to the community. And we'll have all of our MTS athletes there, which we never get together except for trade shows. And the Arnold, we're not doing it because it really is a waste of money. There's so many better ways to spend my money to make more money. And I don't know about you guys, but I like getting a return on investment. Right. Last year, we lost money. And between, like, we didn't even pay for the booth. Like, we still lost money. So if that's not a sign from the divine one, that is what it is. But, nonetheless, we'll get together, have fun. And also Alan and I, sometime by the end of the year, we'll start touring around the vitamin shop and GNC if they come on board with No Morbidity and everything. It's be a great time.
And speaking of that, I just posted the links where you can get No Morbidity at Tiger Fitness, Ember at Tiger Fitness, and Nutrient Driver also there too. And hey guys, I got a story about No Morbidity before we start. So when I went to California 2 weeks ago, I knew I'd be extremely busy, and sometimes I get hungry because my metabolism's crazy. And I left at 2:10 and I got back at 2:05, but I was able to get so much more work done because I wasn't hungry. And for some reason, my blood sugar, which normally dips, had no dip, which is insane because the amount of running around, we were doing not only training videos, we were doing commercials, we had corporate meetings, we were in 16 hours of board meetings. And I was just there, and I'm not going to be that guy who breaks open a pack of chicken. So I'm just like, all right, so we just rocked through it, got our stuff done, and I got to tell you, man, it's profound the amount of work you get done when you're not just sitting there thinking about food. So speaking of thinking about food, there's a huge drive for these new prescription weight loss drugs to the point where it has hit critical mass. It's literally in every newspaper, in every website. You have people homebrewing this stuff. And I really want to talk about this because
as a guy who's been involved in the bodybuilding industry with steroids, a guy who used to know people who homebrewed steroids. Homebrewing means you get the powder and then you yourself measure out and you make drugs. And sometimes you have a neighborhood drug dealer who just does this for everyone. And so he buys the raws from China, and then he puts the different solutions, whether it's grapeseed oil or whatever, makes it injectable. So the problem with that is, number one, it's Chinese drugs. Yeah. You don't know what's really in that powder, and I know you're not going to test it. Number two is, if someone else is mixing it, when you get something from a pharmacy or from Ambrosia, which is BSCG tested, NSF certified, it's one of those things where you know what's in the pill, you know what's in the powder. And for injections, you know what's in the injection if you get it from a pharmacy. If you get it from your neighborhood drug dealer, or you get the powder from China and homebrew it yourself, it's extremely dangerous. So that's one thing I would really like to hone in on, is homebrewing drugs is not something I'd recommend.
I find it amazing that that type of stuff is even being spoken about. Like it just also brings up so many questions about like this, like just get raw drug ingredients. Like what is the actual prescription process about in America? But the drugs we're talking about are the GLP-1 agonists, and they are basically a synthetic derivative of a hormone that your body actually produces to tell you you're full. Like when you feel that you're full, your body produces stomach hormone, and this is an artificial version of it. So it's basically, no matter what people say in today's world, where obesity can be seen as genetic, or it's this or it's that, it is about the amount of food you put in. And I'm not saying that these drugs don't work to a certain degree. I am saying that if you are going to take a substance that is aimed at lowering your level of hunger and how much, if it lowers the amount of food that it takes to both fill you and or helps you avoid hunger, I would think that's a positive thing. I just wonder if the risk versus reward for even these things long term are worth it, and especially for the price that would normally be paid. And I think that that's an important thing for people to look at too, Mark, is that right now these drugs that we're talking about are $1,300, they're $1,000 to $1,300 a month out of pocket without insurance, right?
Yeah. So the way from a strictly budgetary standpoint, right? I mean, that's over $12,000 a year just to eat less food. Yeah. Just to eat less, and you're not going to save that much money on your food bill. No morbidity, we've been told, does save people's money on their food bill. It's $40 a month, $39.99. $40 versus $1,200 is a huge discrepancy. Right, and I'm also going to argue, and this is a pharmaceutical. We're not a pharmaceutical, but we do stop people from eating. And I'm just going to say, not stop people, but we lower people's hunger. We have people, and Mark, I've shown you the charts, and people are in this comment section right now that have had these results. People losing 15, 20% of their body mass in 4 to 6 months instead of the 68 to 72 weeks. Yeah. Now, I'll say, do what you need to do to get healthy, because far be it from me, like I said, you spend your money the way you want to. Let's get healthy in 2023. Like, it's very important. But I will say, home brewing your own like weight loss drugs that you are then going to inject into your stomach. Like Sally from the carpool for the PTA is now home brewing in her bathtub like some biker. You know what I mean? Like it's so messed up. Like her and the rest of the the ladies that sell Avon are also going to start bootlegging like these like it's just this weird thing I can't even understand about it. Like this is Raymond Nish, Mark, and I don't know if you've been introduced to him. Raymond has been on Raymond's been on No Morbidity for about 6 months. I believe he's lost 80 some pounds. Wow. In 6 months. And Raymond, you can verify that, but that's what I'm talking. Like, we need that type of stuff. I just don't suggest you homebrew this stuff. I do have the article, by the way, if you wanted me to read it to people, that this is based on. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the fact that people are taking control of their lives and wanting to lose weight. I think so the thing is, what we've done, so I want to thank Big Pharma for this, Alan. I don't think we've talked about this. I just thought about this while doing cardio this morning, getting my meditation done while walking, is I think Big Pharma is going to squash the hell out of the fat acceptance movement because Big Pharma has made it cool to lose weight again.
Yep.
Now it's our job to help people do it in a safer manner and also to help people not spend $1,300 a month doing it. Now we are not making any medical claims. Of course, talk to your doctor before doing anything. But everybody I know who's gone to their doctor and said, hey, what's this? They'll look at the ingredients. They'll be like, cool, bro. So I haven't heard of any. And also if the doctor wants it, like we are a BSCG tested product, banned substance control group. So we have files of every batch. And in fact, I haven't said this publicly. We had a back order on this 3 months ago.
Yep.
And it was because one of the ingredients was slightly off spec.
Yep.
I'm talking, there's not one other company in this industry who would have held it back. So Alan, myself, and the team at Ambrosia lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because we wouldn't put anything that wasn't perfect on the market. Again, we have documentation of everything. It's a BSCG tested product. So just giving you a heads up, like that's the quality control. So, I mean, there's a lot of people in the industry who say that supplements are untested. Oh, no. People who break the law have untested supplements.
Right.
The GMP processes in place by the FDA are extremely stringent and extremely hard. And you will see that throughout time, the FDA will send letters and shut places down. Right. So the FDA, everybody shits on the FDA. I actually like working with the FDA. I do believe we need oversight. And the reason I'm not against the FDA is I follow the rules. And I speak to the FDA weekly and I make sure we're doing everything up to their standards. So again, yeah, we're not under the same scrutiny as Big Pharma, but through DSHEA and through GMPs, there is a lot of scrutiny if you do things on the up and up.
And I mean, I just think that like people don't understand the difference between like what we talk about and what these are. These are very serious. These are chemicals, right?
Yes.
What we do, one of my favorite shirts is, the ancient methods, modern techniques. Like, I mean, modern methods.
Modern methods. Yep.
Yeah. It's because it's so true. Like we talk about this all the time. A lot of supplements comes from Ayurvedic medicine, which is herbal medicine, basically.
Yep.
And no morbidity is basically like a seaweed, succulent plant, the extract from a succulent plant, seaweed, the rinds of the rinds. There's because garcitrin's in there, and ashwagandha. And I mean the combination is brilliant. I can't speak. I've had people say it doesn't. It didn't work for me, and I always wonder if they were drinking enough fluid. But we can't get that detail with them.
Yeah.
But I always wonder if maybe they screwed it up there somehow. But the vast majority, like 98% of the people I speak to are like, it's changed my entire world.
Yeah. I want to address this real quick. When you're talking about Big Pharma, I would say that's a different division. But no, the FDA has taken down Muscle Tech, who at the time they took them down was a $300 million monster. They've taken down Xenadrin. They've taken down, what was that? A Fedra pill, Metabolife. The FDA gives no fucks about dietary supplement manufacturers. I cursed. They give no Fs about dietary supplement manufacturers, and they will shut you down 100% of the time. So I just want to give you a heads up that when it comes to Big Pharma, maybe, but for the FDA and dietary supplements, I've known a lot of brands from High Tech to Blackstone to Muscle Tech to everybody else. And Twin Lab with Rip Fuel, they will come after you. They don't care. Like at the end of the day, there's no supplement company that's big enough to buy off the FDA. Now the other guys, that industry can.
Yeah, that industry is pretty easy,
Oh yeah.
But these drugs are they produce results. I have no I'm not saying that they don't, but hang on. You talk for a second. I gotta send something here.
Yeah, absolutely. So these new drugs are awesome, actually. They do something. They prevent you from having an appetite that'll cause you to overeat. And if you look at dieting, like Ambrosia Ember is awesome. There's one ingredient in there that is scientifically proven. I can say proven at this point to burn 100 extra calories a day. That's the equivalent of putting barbecue sauce on your hamburger. Sure, 700 calories a week adds up, but at the end of the day, it's not great, right? But if your appetite is decreased so much that you remove 1,000-calorie meal, and yes, fat people eat 1,000-calorie meals all the time. A Big Mac extra value meal with the large fries and a Coke, I think is 1,700 calories. So y'all can eat. All right. So if we're able to just simply decrease people's appetite by 20 to 30%, which semaglutide and Ozempic and all these drugs do, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. However, for those of you who have followed me through bodybuilding, I just did a video on this. It hasn't been aired yet, but trenbolone is the most powerful steroid. Okay. There's this curve. The more effective something is, the more side effects something has usually. Yep. So the fact that these are pharmaceutical and effective, there's normally, and again, there's like, I think no morbidity is an exception to the rule where there's really no known side effects. It's very effective, but the more efficacious something is, the more risk you have.
Yep.
And so that was the thing, like there's this myostatin gene that they had all these myostatin blockers, and myostatin, you ever see those cows that are jacked? Yeah. Those are cows that are, and they're called Piedmontese cows. Those are cows that are lacking the myostatin gene. So in perspective, my theory on that, and people were like coming out, I'm like, these myostatin blockers don't work. And then people were like, how do you know that? I'm like, because we don't know if it's safe to block a myostatin gene. Like it's there for a reason, like for cancer growth and whatever else. So I don't want to block my myostatin gene.
Right.
I like my myostatin just because I'm not 300 pounds jacked, which has a whole host of other problems. So again, like but what I'm getting at is the more potent the drug, the more severe the side effect normally.
Yep. I mean, and that's, I think that to a great degree that supplements might be a little different than that too. I think that that's the biggest difference. Most supplements do not have, unless the person has some sort of allergy or something like that, most supplements do not have very harsh side effects at all.
No. Even like the 1,3 DMAA and the ephedrine, like compared to look at what phentermine did to people. Like people's hearts were exploding.
Yep.
So I think that when you look at even the worst of the worst dietary supplements, the only time it really got crazy is when some companies were spiking stuff with pharmaceuticals. And you had a lot of those. You had Cialis being spiked in male enhancement pills.
Which is awesome.
You had clenbuterol in the products back in the late 90s. So we have had, I actually testified on behalf of the FDA in front of a grand jury in California about a company called Pharmagenics putting clenbuterol into their fat burner that was called Ventolin. The guy ended up going to prison. So I have been involved in these cases. I've been in this industry a long time, and I've actually testified on behalf of the FDA. So I guess you call me a narc. Proud of it though.
Call me a narc.
Screw that guy, man. His name was Brian Rubach, and he was literally like, I was mad because my wife took that product, and she unknowingly gave up her natty card.
Yeah. Unknowingly gave up the natty card.
Well, my wife would take it and her hands would be shaking. I'm like, that's some potent friggin' product. And clenbuterol causes the handshakes. So I hate liars. I hate cheaters. I don't like them.
So, hey, Mark, I wanted to run a video past you and get your honest reaction for people in the crowd. Okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to talk to you about some side effects of semaglutide. So I was on Ozempic. I was loving it. I lost 15 pounds. It was great. I was going to continue to do the shots. And then I got this really, really sore throat and a big lump in my throat. I thought my throat was closing off. So I went to the emergency room and I thought I had strep throat. Turns out that's a side effect of Ozempic. You can actually get thyroid cancer from it. I've had this sore, scratchy throat and no voice for 3 weeks now. I actually ended up in the hospital for 3 days because it also caused pancreatitis. So I wanted to let people know if you get a sore throat at all or you get pain under your ribs, it's actually an emergency and it's a side effect of semaglutide or Ozempic. I know they talk a lot about the weight loss because it's so great, but no one talks about the side effects. And I just thought that was really important.
Oh my goodness. So what do you know the mechanism of action that is causing pancreatitis and throat cancer?
I do not.
Because I wouldn't know why. How would something like cancer's a really big deal, and I know that. So the problem with cancers, we really don't know. Like, does it seed oils? Shut up. You know, I mean, we don't really know what the hell's going on with cancer. Like, I remember I sat by. I was flying home and I got upgraded to first class. I was sitting by a brain cancer specialist from Duke when I lived in North Carolina. And towards the end of the flight, we had a fascinating conversation. I was flying in from New York, and he's like, I'm like, so okay. So how do you get cancer? He said, bad luck. That was it. That was it. He had and this was years ago, right? Right. It was like 2008, 2009. But I don't think we really know. So it's causing cancer, which leads me to believe that it has to be some kind of an inflammatory effect, because you can't just take a cancer pill and get cancer. You basically put your body in a predicament. Like, for example, I got it from being in the sunlight, right? And I'm very fair skinned. You put your body in a predicament where it's more apt to get cancer. I don't think you can just, I can't just go like, okay, I'm going to get cancer today, take a pill and I get cancer. You can't do that. Obviously you could probably put your balls in the microwave like on South Park that one time, but how does like when they're doing the studies, they're like, oh, this causes cancer. Should they be like, how?
You know, I'm doing a whole series, like, and I'll be asking you to share them, of course, but it's called I Have Questions. And like, that's one of them. Like when we said this causes cancer, but they don't know how, like, I think it's time for us to like start paying attention to the very serious correlations with all sorts of stuff. Like, man, I think people misunderstand this. Like when I reached out to Mark about like what I thought was missing in the market, like my wife and I saw this opportunity, like, hey, this isn't necessarily a sports supplement, but this is huge missing in the market. Like I said, I just want it to be effective and safe. You know, like, and I don't understand like how these folks have gotten past that. Like, if you would have told, like, and I thank you, by the way, for sharing that story, because people didn't realize that when we had that serious backup, for in stock, it was because we were looking out for you guys, and we're not going to
don't tell Sean I told everybody. I don't know if he's cool with that, but no, Sean and me. I remember I got a call Friday night, and we were literally like, okay, Alan, it's going to be back in stock Tuesday.
Yeah,
and then we're like. Sean called me. He's like, testing came back and it's off spec. And it wasn't even, I'm like, okay, so, well, we have to get new material tested now. So we went into full all hands on deck mode, and we got proper material tested, and then we made it, we tested it again. And then we're like, okay, let's rock. And that was when it was just, the growth curve was literally in a boom like this. Yeah. And I mean, every day Alan was like, what's the news? We're like, we're fucked. We're in a bad. We're just. But the thing is, it was within spec though. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I just posted on my Instagram on Thursday. The FDA allows a 20% deviation from the label claim. So, for example, on this Ghost, 5 calories, right?
Right.
You can go 20% above that, and you're good. Yeah. Right. You can be completely off for a 100 calorie meal. You could be 120. Right. Yeah. And not be bad. So it's absolutely crazy when you're doing milligram amounts, which this is, right? Like we got 4 milligrams of Thinogen, which is the active dose. Right.
Yeah.
Imagine 20% of that, right? Yeah. Like 200 milligrams. So we could have done it, but we didn't. Right. So it's a matter of just having scruples and doing it right. And the fact is, like, we don't ever want to, it's not just litigation, right? It's not just litigious. It's just doing the right thing. And that's what we do. And unfortunately, what we've seen lately, and again, big pharma, I'm one of those who's actually a devil's advocate for big pharma, because we have people living until 95 that have no business living till 95. We can't deny that big pharma has made people live longer. They just have. You got people who are zombies. They feel like crap every day, but we're keeping them alive with statins, with blood pressure medication, kept Hugh Hefner banging into his 90s with Viagra. Like, big pharma's done some wonderful things, but they also are the most crime-riddled organization
Yeah.
They're the biggest criminals in American history. The biggest lawsuits are against big pharma. So again, would they lie to make $1? Absolutely.
Yeah. My thing about, like, cause you know how I am on freedom thing. Like, I think all drugs should be legal. I think that people should just be informed and make your own decisions like that. I totally believe in that. I don't even think we actually truly need an FDA to approve of things. It would just be to disseminate the information about the ingredients is how I think their role should actually be. Right. Cause what you want to do with your
over the counter though, like, I think we need to have oversight over manufacturing facilities.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that they're following all the processes with consumable goods, the same way they prevent Chipotle from getting salmonella on your lettuce, right?
Yeah.
They make sure that if you go to the salad bar at Whole Foods, they go in there and make sure that the temperature, or the local health department working in coordination with the FDA and CDC and all that, they work to make, not CDC, but I'm sorry about that. They work to make sure that your temperature is where it needs to be to not breed bacteria. Right. We need those oversights. Like, government does play a role. You need to have some oversight, but I do think that all drugs should be legal.
Yeah. Yeah. But because my thing is, it's a matter of like personal sovereignty when it comes to that stuff. So I'm not against, like, I do want people to understand, I'm not against these drugs. I just think that they're kind of being marketed and pushed in unscrupulous ways. Just like you were saying though, and I've said this on my lives, I thank Big Pharma, because they're going to be helping us out as a safe and effective, affordable alternative.
Safe and effective, baby.
I can't imagine like leaping to the, hey, I could try this that people say works, even though it's not a pharmaceutical. And it's like, if the up prices, you pay more and it's possibly more dangerous. Like, I would start with the supplement first. They
call it the gateway drug, right?
Yeah. I would start now. And if we fail you, go get your $1,300 a month injection in your stomach. I'm not saying that, because I do think that no matter what, we need to address the obesity level of America, because it's crazy.
Yep. Absolutely. And we have a money back guarantee anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to leave you high and dry, but again, like, this thing has surpassed even what I thought it would do as far as efficacy. Cause we went to the actual like lab, we actually went to the bench, they call it, started formulating products, started trying things out. This formula, it's amazing, but I did not expect it to be this good. In practice, on paper, it looked amazing, but in practice, you're like, we'll see. And then once we started mass distributing tens of thousands of units, I'm like, oh my goodness, we did something really, really special here.
I think it's because it hits all the areas, Mark. The stress relief is an area that's amazing.
Yes.
Added to the less of it. It works in very good harmony. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. I take it every morning. It's one of those things where I'm not trying to be a 300-pound mass monster. I'm a 212 competitor. You know what I mean? Like, and I love it because I'm not thinking about food. Like, if I miss a meal, or if I get busy coaching or whatever, if I'm doing a focus, nothing's worse than trying to focus on office work when you're hungry. And that's when people start. Did you see that little gadget they had that attached to your hand where you don't get your fingers dirty eating chips? Yeah. Did I send you that one? Oh my God. Yeah. So that's what happens when you're hungry and you're working. Like, people snack mindlessly when they're working. Yep. So if you're able to just focus on work and the de-stress, it's so much better.
Sip on water as your hand to mouth motion to the snacking. Like, I haven't eaten yet today. And I love that. I get so much done. I love it. And then I would much rather speak as a person that has a hard time with their hunger. Like, I'm a binge eater. I much rather look at my day at the end and be like, hey, should I take some protein in to make sure I get my protein? Than, wow, I've eaten entirely too much today. I can't subtract calories. Like, at the end of my day, I'm not going to subtract calories away, but I can certainly add as an evening snack nice planta protein pudding to make sure I get my protein allotment.
Yeah.
It works. So for people with problems with food, and I think that was the biggest difference. Like, when we first got together, because it's mostly performance supplements, but you guys have started dipping your toe with Ambrosia, which is all a health line and lifestyle.
So different. Yeah.
Yeah. And it fit perfectly in where it's like, this really, like, it just really is a life aid. Like, I remember, I know you were like, because I remember in our first talk, you were like, maybe we should put something in there so people feel it working, because people like to feel it working. I'm like, if we just stick non-stimulant, it's going to be good, because the just absence of hunger a couple of days later is so telling to them, So, I mean, I think it works amazingly.
Yeah. I think that, well, I mean, I like the non-stimulant factor, because then you have Ember in the morning, no morbidity in the afternoon. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it works out.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what we intended it for. Now that I've weaned off of no morbidity, I've managed to keep losing. I've done better having lunch, my first meal, eating when I'm hungry, and my hunger's at night. So basically, it's a person that used no morbidity to get control of their hunger, and then has weaned themselves off of it after losing the weight they've needed to lose.
And that's fine with us.
That's good. Tell everybody that's what you did. That's exactly how we intend upon this. I did a live right before this, Mark. Do you know that they intend on people being on these drugs forever?
Oh yeah, it's a $15,000 a year drug habit, man.
That is crazy.
I mean, but if it saves life, and but I mean, here's the thing though, in data, very credible data, from one of the smart people groups, I believe it's 90% of Americans can't afford an unexpected $600 bill.
Right.
Who's going to be able to? I can't look. I'm gonna be real. Like, I do well. I don't think I can justify $1,200 a month for a weight loss drug. I mean, that's like GH levels of money. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy money.
$1,200 a month for 72 weeks is something like $18,000 or something like that, right?
But it's not even that profound of a benefit.
No,
it's okay.
52 pounds for $15,000.
Wow.
Like, that is a lot of money per pound. I mean, hang on a second. Like,
that's one of those, Alan, let's put it in perspective. If somebody paid you 15 grand, would you lose 20 pounds? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'd diet my ass. Like, do that.
In like a week and a half.
I'd cut off a limb.
Yeah. I mean, like, so that is, by the way, $288 a pound.
Wow.
That you then need to stay on this medication or you will regain. Like, they openly say this, that like, we have the doctors are openly saying, like, you will end up regaining the weight if you come off the medication, because they're not even talking to people about lifestyle change.
That's absolutely nuts. I mean, so here's the problem. The problem is our sick care system, and I'm not going to say healthcare system. Mm-hmm. Doctors do not, actually, I take that back. Doctors do. And if you actually listen to most like my doctor, he's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but my doctor is the kind of dude who'd be like, hey, eat more fiber, eat more protein, eat more veggies and fruits, get out of here. Whereas most doctors are like, you're fat. I have another cut. I have like 10 people waiting in their rooms for me. And it's basically a chop shop. You're going in, boom. How fast can I get this done? Boom. How fast can I get this done? Boom. Here's your money. Here's your pills. Here's your pills. Here's your pills. So they're basically trying to cram you into this day. I mean, the average doctor sees a patient for like 4 minutes. They're not going to take time to do something they're not getting paid for. Like, they're not getting paid for you to lose weight.
Right.
He's going to prescribe you all the stuff. He's going to give you Ozempic, statins, blood pressure, and maybe some Coumadin for some blood thinning. He's going to have you on everything.
Right.
And have fun with that Coumadin, because that's what killed my dad. He had a kidney transplant, and when he did blow a blood vessel in his head, he couldn't clot.
Yep. If you are on blood thinners, you need to be extremely careful with your life. Like, extremely careful.
Don't get a paper cut.
No, you don't coagulate. You don't stop bleeding. So just be careful. Somebody keeps saying, like, will people, like, and you brought up, will people be able to afford that? The thing is, if, say, they get this universally covered by health insurance, and this is what people need to understand. Right now, we're at about $4.1 trillion in total healthcare burden in America, right? While people losing 50 some pounds or 22% of their body mass might reduce that down to like 3.5 trillion, it's going to be at the expense of us adding, if you think about it, say $1,300 a month, say the person pays, $25 to $300 a month out of their own pocket for these drugs, right? To make it more affordable for the person. The insurance companies are then going to be stuck with about $1,000 per person per month. And that is going to raise everybody's cost up. We could very easily add $1 trillion a year onto our healthcare, onto our healthcare burden. like just with this drug. 50, there's 180 million people that are fat in America. If 50 million of them get prescribed one of these drugs, and it's an extra $1,300 a month, they plan on these people staying on forever. Like they plan on people staying on these drugs forever. That is a massive increase. That is just a gift to the pharmaceutical industry. It just is.
Like they have no plans on making you wean off this. It's literally like TRT. It's a lifetime subscription.
The doctor on my live previously, Mark, he openly said, think of it as diabetes. Like if you manage your diabetes, your cholesterol and stuff like that through pharmaceuticals, if you manage your obesity through pharmaceuticals and you stop taking that, expect the same result. Like you're going to regain the weight.
Yeah, it's about lifestyle change too. Like, the thing is with no morbidity, it does help with cravings. I believe Ozempic and thing does the same. But unless you teach yourself to love healthier foods,
right,
you're just going to get right back on that. So, and Big Pharma knows it, and they want the repeat customer. They want that subscription, man. Like they want that subscription. And that's where it's scary because it's $1,200 a month. It's an injectable. There's just so much going on there that's really, really, really scary. Mm-hmm. And it puts you in a situation where if you have a hard month and you can't afford it, then you're gonna gain all your weight back. It's amazing how fast people gain weight back.
Yeah, it really is. And a lot of that is like, because what you and I and the Ambrosia Collective are doing, like I am daily telling people, use this as a tool to build your hydration habits, build your, eat protein first, be a protein forward nutrition, keep processed carbohydrates to a minimum. Processed food is bad for you anyway. It causes you to be stupid. We've actually had studies about this, right?
Yes, there are good studies on that.
So do all these things, but be using our products as a way to increase your lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. I thought you would, I thought people would love to like stay healthy. And if you want to use our products forever to, maintain that level, fine. But we do encourage people to use them as a healthy way to gain better lifestyle habits,
Yeah, I think that there's certain things I'll never go without. Nectar, Mental Jewels, and Planta. Those are things you need, and Vita, but other than that, like no morbidity, if you're able to control your appetite without it, then hey, and then if you find yourself veering off course, put it back in the program. For me, for $40 a month, to avoid the cravings and the stress relief, it would be worth it. I'm not going to pretend like I buy it. I own the company, but I'm not going to be that guy. But I mean, and also like, I'm not going to be like, I lost X. I did lose 5 pounds by not eating, but I also I'm a genetic elite when it comes to metabolism due to what actually years of training and everything else I do. So I'm not going to be that guy. Like I took no morbidity and no, I was shredded before no morbidity. Yeah. So don't look at me, but I'm just looking at the people who've taken it. And
I can say I'm 2 years. I'm 2 years between binges, and for people that aren't I'm 2 years between binges, and that's from no morbidity. I really put in the absence of hunger. I've built such healthy skills, but also there's those times where I've had stressful. Like I still get death threats fairly regularly. People, it's not like I don't have a stressful life, And there's been times where it's like, I know that if I had hunger right now, this stressful event would likely have had me eating everything in the fridge. But I'm able to handle this because I'm not hungry,
Oh, it's such a vacation. Like I remember when I first started competing, dude, like it was like, I mean, my wife could be standing in front of me naked doing jumping jacks. And I'm just like, when's the next meal? Like when do I get to eat again? I don't know. Like the thing is, I've been on no morbidity since before I got my pro card. So since October of 2021. So I don't know how hungry I would be without no morbidity. Yeah. Like that's the thing. It's like I have no idea because usually I do not maintain this. Like I maintain leanness, but never this lean. This is the leanest I've ever maintained, and I'm going to say that it has something to do with it because for me, it's just like I wake up, it's part of my daily ritual. I get up and I take my no morbidity with all my other pills. So I figure it's such good, healthy ingredients that help with everything from blood sugar to cravings to stress. And I'm a stressed guy. Like Alan's one of the few people who knows how stressed I am daily. So, I think that it definitely helps. I'll take it just for the stress mitigation.
And then and for those like we have a second product coming, but until then, I can't possibly speak highly enough about Nutrient Driver and controlling blood sugar regulation right now. Like, I mean, I use it daily along with some other ingredients for our second product, but berberine, like, it's basic. Like, weight loss isn't as complicated as what they're saying, especially for these pharmaceutical people. Like, it's basic. Control your blood sugar, control your hunger, and you can be healthy. You know.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I gave up all processed food, sugar, while on Nomo and Ember. See, that's what I'm like. Nomo and Ember, by the way. Holy cow! Like,
that is the stack. Because the African mango and Ember just adds to the epicness of the appetite control. I mean, African mango, in my opinion, is that's the superstar product ingredient in Ember. That was while we talk about No Morbidity kind of being my baby, Sean really knocked it out of the park with Ember. Yeah. That was he was the chief driver on that. And
I loved how they do the tablets where you can split them in half, because half when I wake up, half midday, along with some mental jewels that I just took right here. Man, I mean, it's like literally weaponized ADHD. It's crazy.
I don't know if we can market that, but I think that'd be we should, when we do those ads, when you come out on the 2nd, we should definitely do something about weaponized ADHD. I got a camera guy coming all day. He's already been paid. Let's get our content.
Yeah, no kidding. Mark, somebody wants to know any updates on Immortal and Insurgent?
Yeah, I was just about to read this one. So good news. Immortal is set to arrive on Wednesday. I'm going to say it here, and you guys can share it. I'm not going to share it till Wednesday. So Wednesday might be the biggest sales day in Tiger Fitness history. Number one, we have Immortal coming back in stock, which is our number one seller. Yeah. Number two, we have Birthday Cake Whey for sale with a special t-shirt, the retro shirt that I'm going to send you out some Birthday Cake Whey today, Alan. It's stupid good. So we haven't had it in a year. I'm bringing it back because I like it myself, just being real. And it's only a 2-pounder, but it comes with a free shirt. And here's a big deal. Most likely, we're going to be dropping the price of our whey protein everyday price by $5. So let me explain to you what happened. So basically, whey prices went through the roof. In fact, Core, Optimum, Dymatize, for their whey protein for a 5-pounder, it's $99. Okay. I have been selling whey only direct because I can't afford, based on the margins, to sell to distribution, because I'm making zero money on whey basically. So now what's happening is the prices are stabilizing, thank God. And I promised everybody that we'll keep it lower than everybody else. But as soon as I can get some room to lower the price, I promise you I'm going to lower it. So even though I'm still operating on the old cost, I still have that whey in stock. Right. I'm lowering the price. We're making pretty much nothing on the friggin' thing. I'm going to, hopefully we sell more Immortal and other things and No Morbidity. So basically whey right now for me is a loss leader, but I wanted to get that thing in the mid 60s because that makes sense. I want to get it lower and lower. And I don't care if I lose. And right now I'm going to be losing money. I'm just being real on most orders. Some orders I might make it up on other products. So again, if you buy stuff, like the whey's going to go down from 74 to 69, which gets it below 70. My goal is to lower it even more as the market stabilizes. But realize we still have the old whey. So we're still, the cost on that is still high. So hopefully it evens out later, but that's going to be a huge day for us. So Insurgent looks like next week. The story on Insurgent, one of the ingredients did not spec. So it's been back ordered because of that.
That's what people don't get. Like all of you should know Mark is like the only person that does that. like when you're shopping around who to go to business with for supplements, Mark's like one of the only people that does that. So
those are the updates, but Wednesday is going to be a huge day. So keep an eye out. I'm only saying it here. I'm not going to post anywhere else because then people won't buy anything Monday, Tuesday. Then everybody will get pissed off at me because then we'll have like zero sales on Monday, Tuesday. Actually, we'll be fine. Most people who buy from Tiger Fitness have no idea who I am, which is what we want. Like most people just find us like, hey, the site looks cool. This brand looks, let's buy it, and we run ads. It's a big company and stuff, but I want it. Yeah. Thanks for asking, man.
Yeah. And Mark and my goal is like people don't, that's the difference too. Like, I hope that No Morbidity gets big enough where people don't even associate it with me or you or anybody.
Yeah. And I think it's there. It's there. And Well, with Kevin Gates coming back in the fold, he's relaunched his Instagram. He takes it down when he has nothing to promote because he can.
Yeah.
And so now he's back, and he's going to be more involved with the company than ever. So a lot of big things coming from Ambrosia. Again, like I said earlier, we spent 16 hours a week ago in California in board meetings, in planning meetings. And again, not only do I have a great team with Mike and Sean and our whole staff, from Tina to Trellis, who handles our video, just an amazing team. And there's so many more people, but we also have Brandless, who is our parent company, who back in June of 2022, they bought majority in the company, but they're the best partners ever. Yep. And so, so we have them supporting us, making sure that we have all the resources we need to build this. And I do have, we just got done, by the way, Alan, good news. Last week, Sean and I put together the costing sheet and the product pitch, which we do for every product as part of our business. It's what you should do for every product on the new product we're launching under your umbrella. So it's we're hoping for a launch in April or May.
Yes.
We're meeting on that tomorrow.
They'll let me know when I can start telling you guys the name, because I've been probably calling it Product 2 forever.
Yeah, and we have some good name options. The first one was obviously taken, but we have some good options. We're gonna once we get the label going.
Absolutely. Let's see a few other questions here. Does no morbidity help with weed cravings? I don't know. I don't smoke weed. I don't know. I haven't smoked weed.
It could help with the munchies that weed brings on, but I would highly doubt it has anything to do with the addiction center for THC. Yeah. I don't really see. I've never tried. I do use THC edibles occasionally. Yeah. I love them. I'm a big fan. I've never actually smoked weed, and I'm not addicted. Like, I take it like once or twice a week when I want to hit. I have a Whoop strap, so I know that when I want deep REM sleep, I'll take that with my MTS sleep aid and my Ritual PM, and my REM sleep will be like 40% of my sleep. It's insane. Yeah. I like to, and also if I have an injury, instead of taking anti-inflammatories, taking the THC, which I take one called Nick's Nugs. It's legal, so I'm not buying it black market. It's legal in all states, I believe. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of THC, but I don't really. I might get in trouble for this, but I don't really think weed's that addictive. I think you're just addicted to the high, because I mean. I'm on straight up THC. I've tried real edibles, like the shit you get from the dispensary. Yeah. And not once have I been like, God, I really need some of that. I don't know if smoking should be the same issue as far as addiction. I think you're just addicted to the act of smoking. Yeah. Or doing whatever you do with it.
THC is shown to be not very physically addictive. I do believe that I think that anything can be emotionally addictive.
Oh God. Did you ever see My Strange Addiction? You had this woman drinking bleach. One was addicted to pulling out her hair. One was addicted to eating her husband's ashes out of his urn.
There was somebody was eating couch cushions.
It's absolutely insane. So I really, I really just stop. Just fucking have some willpower. I saw that Leo Longevity. Yeah. I don't know much about. I've never seen the guy. I've never seen any of his stuff. I know that Boston Lloyd used to go on there, and I just knew it because Boston. I talked to Boston a lot when he was alive, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going on Leo's again." I'm like, "Cool," and I pretended like I knew who he was. I've never seen one of his videos. The fact that he died and he has longevity in his name is kind of crazy. Yeah. And he was a young dude. He was like in his 30s, bro. Yeah. He wasn't jacked.
I actually was on his channel at one point in time, and I talked to him about ADHD. Like he believed in like he's friends with Derek too. He believed in like the biohacking of hair and ADHD and stuff like that. He seemed like a really nice guy. My thoughts on it, I don't have much thoughts on it. He seemed like a nice guy, and my only interaction with Tony Huge is that he's been a nice guy. I have no.
Tony's always been so nice. I love Tony. And he does things I would not recommend listening to. Like, I mean, crazy things. Like, you think he'd be bigger with all those drugs he does. Yeah. But that's just a guy who's out chemistrying genetics, right? Yeah. And more power to him. But it just seems like Now I was watching Nick Trigili's thing the other day in the sauna, and he's like, it appears that there could be foul play. I don't know.
I don't like, that's when people ask, I guess that's why they're asking my thoughts on it. Cause I don't like, and just to be super honest, I don't care anything about the YouTube fitness people anymore. I absolutely don't.
I stay away.
I'm looking to what's going on with the CDC, the FDA, weight loss, like our world, you know, I mean, I don't like, Tony Hughes seems like a nice guy. Leo, I know is a nice guy. You know, I watch Mark's shit. Oh, I swear. I watch Mark's stuff.
I've said the F word, and I keep checking, and it appears they haven't demonetized us yet,
which is good. But I mean, I don't know. Good. I don't know that much about Tony's stuff. I know Tony does a lot of stuff, but that's about all I know. I've never really watched his channel, and I watch Leo's stuff a little bit, but not tremendously that much either. Like he gets like a lot of these times they're talking about hair loss and stuff, and I don't care. Like I love.
You've already given up. I'm like, hey, if mine falls out, it just means I'm going to save money on haircuts.
Dude, we would just relaunch my bald acceptance T-shirts.
Yeah, I think that a reality show is as someone who's been on a reality show, 50% script, 50% real. They do so the people are real, but they manufacture a lot of drama. Mm-hmm. But the my crazy addiction, that looked pretty legit. Like that just looked legit to me. Like you could tell American Grit was scripted because everybody's getting along. Then all of a sudden I'd call like I'd get in a fight with Yvette. You know, it was like they're like, hey Mark, you need to go say some stuff to Yvette. I'm like, why? I like her. Like, cause it's boring. I'm like, all right, hey Yvette, you have a fat ass. Oh no. Oh, what did Mark say? Blah, blah, blah. And then they'll edit things where it's a different conversations put into one. Oh, it's crazy. They make you look stupid. I would never go on a reality show again.
Oh no. Well, unless we did one, unless we actually made our own. Yeah,
that would definitely not be monetized on YouTube.
No.
If they actually follow, you're like, we should follow us with a camera. I'm like, that would be on Rumble.
We'd have to put that on Rumble. Have to. Alan, have you seen Joey's World Tour recently? I have not watched a Joey's World Tour video in likely 6 years. So
who's Joey?
Joey's World Tour is some guy that he eats fast food in his car and he's weird, and a lot of people like he's gluttoning himself to death and people watch him. So
I don't understand that, like that avocado kid. Like what is what is that thing?
With Nomo, it cost me $2.2 per pound, 5 months, 90 pounds.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That's insane.
That is amazing. Nuts. That is so amazing.
That is nuts. So back to the YouTube like fitness thing. Like I don't even know who's in YouTube fitness. I'm cordial with Derek. No plates. I just dissed him. So I'm cordial with him. Derek and me get along. We speak once in a while. Chris Jones, other than my business partners, Chris, Mike, I don't even know who is on YouTube anymore, but I do keep in contact. So I compete in the 212 and Kareth is he's a guy he competes 212. He's doing the New York Pro. And I'm going to be in New York meeting with Vitamin Shop on February 28th. And I'm like, he's a guy I'm like, hey, let's train together. And while we're at it, let's video it. I don't care if anybody watches it. We both have such respect for each other as competitors that I'm like, I'll talk to Breon and Keon and every Eon I know and Kareth and all these guys who are great people, great competitors. And, Victor Martinez. So I will keep in contact with the actual people who do it, not just talk about it. The problem with these YouTubers is they're usually like, obviously Seth Feroci's done stuff and Derek Lunsford, all these guys, I love their stuff. I just don't care to watch a training video because whatever. Like I still talk to these guys, but as far as YouTube fitness, I just find them to be disingenuous. Yeah. I want to talk to pros. Like I'm very biased and I'm very elitist in that I don't really, there's either the guys who talk trash about pro bodybuilders for being on steroids and just being whatever and just gossip and talk trash. And then there's the guys who pretend to be knowledgeable and pretend to be experts when they don't know what they're talking about. And they also don't have the credentials. Chris Gethin put it best. Knowledge without mileage is bullshit.
Yeah.
Think about it. I want some mileage.
Yeah. Like, I mean, what have you done? Like, this is why I think people need to like get a grip of themselves. I used to be a very strong man. I don't coach anybody for strength at all. You know why? I've never competed in powerlifting. I'm not exo certified. Like there are many people that do it better than me. I am very good about weight loss and understanding behaviors and habits and stuff like that. Extremely good. I am going to stay in my wheelhouse. And a lot of what I talk about ends up with public health because I have a background and degree in healthcare, but also I was in the healthcare industry. And being obesity has a lot to do with our healthcare. So I speak on that stuff and make sure I'm up on it. The best deadlift form is I'm not your guy. But I am not your guy. It's not that I can't deadlift and not that I couldn't coach people to deadlift, but there are so many more other people. Like you would be better off going to Mark's daughter. Like she's more qualified to teach deadlift than me. And that's
Did you see her critique? Did you see her critique my physique yesterday? Dude, I sent you. That was so funny.
Mark's daughter is going to rule the entire fitness industry, by the way.
She's like, well, I think you could probably afford to gain some weight, just do this. And no, but you're on point. Keep your cardio. I'm like, you're 17. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. And, but it's been, but she grew up in it. Like she literally like was born with a dumbbell in her hand, like she's just that, Yeah. It's cool to have someone so like me.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, but I think, oh wow, no cravings for Starbucks.
And the devil off my shoulder, I talk about that all the time. Like for people that have a hard time eating, it's like there's this devil here. Like you can eat that, you can eat that, you can eat that, and no morbidity literally just kind of knocks it off. Like I mean, it doesn't make the food taste bad. That's another thing too that these drugs sometimes tend to do. They cause people to get nauseous, like very nauseous. Goodness. Like that's one of the high side effects. But like food still tastes great. If anything, food tastes a little better because you're not constantly barraging your taste buds with highly palatable foods,
Yeah. So. Yeah, you kind of enjoy it more because you're eating less of it. You're like, wow, this is kind of good. So we have a vitamin D under MTS Nutrition. It's vegan, Vega D3. But under Ambrosia, just get Vita. Ambrosia Vita covers vitamin D3, quercetin, zinc. It's basically the, remember that cocktail that Alan and I were talking about during the great fattening of 2020 that I think it was just called the C word, the great fattening of 2020.
Yeah.
And so Vita was literally created for viral defense, but it also has a whopping dose of vitamin D. It'll get that in you, but also some other nutrients. It's very affordable. And it has a product in there that we actually have the industry exclusive on called Imulina, which is, in my opinion, one of the best immune enhancers on the market.
Yeah. I take it, like, again, I have a bottle of it right here. I take it fairly regularly, especially, and I know this sounds messed up, but especially when I know I'm not going to be in the sun a whole lot because if I'm not getting my proper vitamin D and stuff, but also if I'm in underneath these lights, like if I have a heavy consultation schedule, which by the way, everybody, please do check out my consultations, blah, blah, blah. But I have a heavy consultation schedule and I'm going to be under the lights a lot and I'm going to work out inside that week. Like if it's raining, I make sure to take it no matter what, just like prophylactic, just to avoid getting sick.
By the way, I also a lot of people like going to stores, don't like waiting for stuff to arrive online, even though it's really quick now. But No Morbidity and Nectar, Ember, Kinetic, and Planta are all available at the Vitamin Shop, every single one of them. So if you go into Vitamin Shop, they're going to have it.
Yeah, go into a Vitamin Shop and say, hey, for us, please do. Like, I mean, go in them, tell them, thank you for carrying the products. We truly appreciate it.
I can't wait to go up there on the 28th. This is my first meeting since the great fattening of 2020. So I'm looking forward to seeing those people, shaking their hands and thanking them for all their support of our brands. I really love those guys. And last week was, we might be working out some deals with GNC. So if you guys have a chance, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to gnc.com or to their social media, and GNC Live Well is their social media, and ask them to carry Ambrosia. Because right now I am doing a push for them to carry the product. I'm trying to sell it in. And if they get a little push from consumers like you, it'll help us push over that hump. And that way Alan can buy a new Lamborghini.
Alan will not buy a Lamborghini. Alan will be Alan instead of a Lamborghini, Alan would buy 10 acres in literally the middle of nowhere and start setting up solar panels and stuff. if you ever see Mark in a Lamborghini, or if you ever see me in a Lamborghini, it's micro sheets. Like, I mean, like,
oh no,
it's not mine. I can guarantee. Like, if you see me on a chopper, I might get a bike this year, like a chopper this year. But Lamborghini is not my thing. I'm much more of a 4-wheel drive vehicle guy than Lamborghini.
I'm gonna drive that Yukon till the wheels fall off, bro.
Oh yeah, your Yukon's amazing.
It's a awesome living room on wheels. It's making a little noise when I turn it left, so I'm gonna take it in. I have a recall anyway. Swallowing pills, Greg. Here's the thing, it's a fucking pill. So you're gonna have to break them open, put them in some nectar, and I'm not sure how it tastes, but it's only 3 caps. So put nectar in a shaker. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Nectar should cover what I have no idea. Let's do it.
I can see Alan in a 5-ton. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
What about a Jeep? I'd take a Jeep too.
We're gonna see how this tastes. So I'm gonna tell you how no morbidity tastes raw. If it's bad, I'm gonna kill everybody. All right, here goes. Okay, so some of it's gonna come out. All right.
Does it have a smell?
It's actually pretty damn bad.
Pretty damn bad?
Oh, it's terrible. I'm not gonna lie, this is really bad.
I can't imagine it being good. Like, I mean,
well, there's a reason why we put it in caps.
Right?
Oh man, this poor man has a fiance who won't swallow.
Oh,
yeah.
That
was absolutely terrible.
I can imagine that being horrible.
Don't do it.
I went to the vitamin shop yesterday and they didn't have it. Raymond, what didn't they have?
So Ray, if they didn't have no morbidity, all you have to do, check this out. This is easy. Go to the front and you tell them you would like no morbidity. They'll order it for you and they'll waive the shipping.
Yeah. I mean, and they restock like once a month. So, I mean, they just might be out of it there. I like the fact that they don't have it. That means that they went out, people bought what was in stock yet. So.
People, one time someone called me a sellout and I'm like, damn right, selling out of products every day, son.
You know what? That's happened a lot to me in this last year because, you know, I'm now selling a supplement where I said I wouldn't ever really be in the supplement industry. I pointed out to people, first of all, me and Mark actually talked about this a while ago, because old man supplements, blah, blah, blah. Right. But I didn't want to get into the performance supplements just because I really believe that like my performance in the gym is really like in my head and what I do with my body. However, I have always been a very big advocate that food is important and nature provides all the answers. We've got this second product coming for blood sugar regulation, insulin sensitivity, inflammation, but we have plans. I want to go past this. Like, I really believe in these next couple of years, we need to focus on making America as healthy as possible again. And we need to come up with very realistic solutions for people to be able to control their hunger, their blood sugar, their stress levels, their sleep. And I think this is one of the reasons why no morbidity being under the Ambrosia Collective umbrella is perfect, because, Ritual PM, Ritual AM, like these things to get your day started and help you get solid sleep, stuff to help you with your immune system.
It's a lifestyle. And the ingredient, the hero ingredient in that product that we're coming out with is just going to blow your guys' minds.
Yeah.
It's it's sold. So the problem with Ambrosia right now is that we have no morbidity and Ember in stock in our warehouse. And last week, Vitamin Shop sent a huge PO. So as we grow within the Vitamin Shop, they have to, their system scales the orders. So when before they could carry 2 per store,
right,
there might be some stores who need 10 and some might need 1. So you're dealing with, I think it's like 782 stores. So obviously the algorithm that they have and the inventory system will never be perfect. Also, let's say 3 people in a city were like, I need to try this. There goes your stock. So it's going to be, but again, if Vitamin Shop's out of stock, or if you go to GNC and you buy the outright bar, right? Like, and they don't have it, all of those stores have a ship from store function where they will take your order. Because we have their warehouses stocked. We just shipped a huge order last week. And every week we send a big shipment to Vitamin Shop every single week. We get POs every Tuesday. So if they run out, it'll probably be back in by the next Monday when they get their shipment.
Oh, here's a good one.
Yes.
Will product 2 help with
Absolutely.
inflammation? Mm-hmm.
For now, Nutrient Driver will help, as well as Golden. Get Ambrosia Golden. Ambrosia Golden is super turmeric. If you've seen the videos on how well it actually dissolves, Golden is a home run. So I would say try Golden and let us know what you think, because Golden is it's a hit. Like it is unparalleled, and it is literally super turmeric. You will love it. I think it'll help you.
And they said they're a spot for people. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's really tough. It's really hard to capture minds in this current day and age where it's a very competitive marketplace. So we do our best to get the message out. And thankfully, we have Mike Rashid, Kevin Gates. We have all these great spokespeople for the company. We have Ant Banks. We got Devin. We got these great folks. And I hope it goes, but there might be, just keep an eye open. We might be doing something really, really big with Kevin. And it's very exciting at the possibilities. And it's such an opportune moment in society because we're doing it right. So remember, Kevin Gates, we didn't go to him. He tried Planta, loved it. His manager messaged us. So we sent him out a care package. Then he took Kinetic and did that video out of nowhere and said, this makes you like a god. Because he said it made him feel like a god. He really had that feedback. Kevin Gates, he's way out of our league.
Yeah.
Like that's like having The Rock on. I mean, not really, but like he has 10 million on Instagram alone.
That's
the
crazy.
Dude is the hottest thing in hip hop right now. Turned his Instagram back on, erased, and all of a sudden he got more. Everybody like shits over what Chris Bumstead does. Dude, Kevin Gates has like 5 times the engagement as Chris Bumstead, and he doesn't post for 5 months out of the year.
Right. That's crazy.
Put it in perspective how big Kevin is. And he's not just a hip hop guy. This dude's fitness. He's speaking on society. He's speaking on social matters. He is what embodies this. And Mike Rashid's podcast is so amazing in that it's about society and bettering yourself. That's what we're not just about selling hopes and dreams in a bottle. We're about making you a better person. And that's why Kevin, Mike, and all these people, like we only associate with people who think like us, right? Like who think in a way that is so far beyond just the black and white way that Americans tend to think.
Yep. I mean, and I think that's the important thing. Like don't get me like, I think that's where Mark and I are at with like people are asking about the YouTube fitness stuff. I don't care, man. Like, I mean, I don't care. I just don't like.
And there's beef. Like they keep fighting about stuff. Like it's like, dude, you guys are, I'm sorry. And I used to do it. So I'm not by any means bashing it, but let's just say I'm old. Like, I don't need to get in a heated debate over if Greg Doucette said that calories in, calories out is the optimal. I'm like, I don't really care what, and I like Greg. I've learned to like the guy. I see he does more good than bad. You know, he's definitely a net positive, but I just don't care. And he doesn't care about me. So I think we're even. Like, I'm in my lane, he's in his lane. And again, he makes his money on YouTube.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just a behind the scenes guy who has board meetings.
Right.
And I'm good with that.
My thing is like, you and I have talked about it all, and it's just getting more and more real about it for me. 2020 changed everything. I mean, me and Mark know each other from the old YouTube fitness days when people would go back and forth in videos. That's how we know each other.
Like us.
Yeah. So I don't even think it's a matter of being old. I just think it's a matter of like, hey, people, the world kind of changed. Like, we're fitness professionals. Our job is to get people fit, live long lives, be fulfilled, have good sex, do all these things. I don't care if Greg likes me. I don't care. I don't care if.
I kind of want him to like me.
Here's my thing.
I want everyone to like me. Yeah. I want to be loved.
You do.
I want to be loved.
Yeah, I'm pretty good being a villain, so I don't mind that much.
I get so hurt. Like, I did that post about like how social media, that's not really the person. Like, they're just really upset at who they are. Like, I still get hurt by when people say mean things about me. Like, you're lying about your steroid use. I'm like, why would you? That's mean. Like, I have kids. Like, I don't want them to see that I'm a liar. Why would you say that about me? And then I realized like those people are just mad about something that's not really, happening in their life. Because I like Liver King. I never once commented on him being natty or not.
Right.
Because I didn't know. I commented afterwards because he's a lying piece of
Right.
poop. But I never once went into his. But even then, I never went into his comments. Like
Right.
that's his sacred space. If I have something to say about Liver King, I'm going to say it on my own channel. But I'm not gonna poop all over his channel.
Right. I mean, I don't know where we're like why. It was and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was fun for a while doing the back and forth videos. I just think the world got a lot more like the world showed us it's a lot more serious than what we than.
You were so good at it. It's almost a shame.
Dude,
I almost want you to have a relapse.
And here's my thing. Like I still like, and we'll talk when we're together here coming up. I still want to talk about like an event where we do some comedy and stuff like that. I mean, because I really think we need to get there too. Like, it can't all be, hey, this is doom and gloom. But my goodness, people, like, I've been to Walmart. We need to talk about people losing weight right now. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, your reshred videos were freaking classic.
Yeah. Well,
those are still like the most classic videos.
And the thing about it is there's so many people like him now. Like, Vince he obviously didn't know what he was doing. It wasn't just the copying Jeff Cavalier stuff. Like, it was clear he did not know what he was doing. Like,
no.
And not only did he not know what he was doing, but the people that were helping him edit and film and talk about and write scripts, none of them knew what they were doing.
No, they were just marketing people. And I work with a company and they do my thumbnails and stuff. And they're like, hey, we could script for you. I'm like, hey, no, no. I don't script. I can't.
I don't even, I couldn't possibly do it. Like both my books, but people ask for audio versions of both my books because, especially the first one, because it's all F words, right? And it's me talking, right? It's literally, I vomited my thoughts out on a topic onto the page in my own words. So it's F word every other word. So like, you've got to make an audio book. I'll buy it at like $30 a pop. But the problem is, to sell an audio book, it has to be the exact wording of the book, of the written book. Oh my God. And I can't do that because of ADHD. Like, I can't make that happen. Like, I've tried dozens of times. That's hilarious. But you understand, for me, like, imagine you having to like record yourself as an audiobook, but you're recording words of you like written in your actual just normal language, you know? Yeah, it just doesn't fly. It really doesn't. It doesn't. But hey man, we've been on a little while. Yeah. I know you got to run. Yeah, I got some stuff and some things. Also, there's the Kabuki Education Week. I'm gonna get you into that. It's pretty cool. But anybody, if you go to my Instagram, I posted it the other day. It's all the best minds in training. From Stan Efferding to a bunch of PhD, Brett Contreras, and myself. I will be speaking on valgus, basically preventing valgus in youth athletes. And valgus is caving into the knees. So basically our goal is to prevent ACL injuries. And my presentation will go into how to prevent ACL injuries through treating valgus in youth athletes. Amazing. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm bringing Bryce on board, my head coach over at Legacy, who's going to add his perspective, and it's going to be a good time. And it's a Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific Standard. So if you want to be on that, DM me on Instagram. I'll get you over the link. And I have a coupon code. It's expensive. It's like $150 to watch it live and like $300 to be able to like access it forever. But if you use coupon code, I think it's Mark Lobliner 30. It gets you $30 off. But it's expensive, but it's like a lot of people. Like these guys, it's like every one of these speeches, except for mine, is worth that money on their own. But you're going to enjoy it. You're going to learn a lot. And one last time, for those of you that are in the Ohio area or even like a couple hours away, March 2nd, Mark, myself, a bunch of other people are going to be at the Tiger Fitness Gym for a free workout and Q&A, and there's going to be pizza and all sorts of shit, right? Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for coming on board, and I guess we'll see y'all next time. All right, we'll talk soon. Later on. Peace out, everybody. We did a good job with the not swearing. It was